All right, let's begin with the gigantic news, which started to rumble late last week and then over the weekend, and ultimately, I guess Dennis Dodd at CBS Sports was the first to report it over the weekend that Jamar Chase was planning to opt out of the season, and then everyone sort of followed suit. Today, we were waiting on confirmation from Jamar Chase, and I guess this will have to do. This came at 11:55 Central Time this morning. Jamar Chase from his Twitter account tweeted, "I would have liked to tell y'all first." That seems to be indicative of the confirmation we were all expecting from Jamar Chase that he will, in fact, opt out of the 2020 season. Been a lot of mixed reactions and a lot of rumors as to why Jamar Chase decided to opt out of the season. And ultimately, we'll get that answer when Jamar Chase speaks, whenever that is. And it hasn't happened yet. So, candidly, I'll tell you, I don't know. I don't know his decision. I don't know the process. But what I will talk about is how we kind of got here over the past month, because this is the very interesting part. Jamar Chase's decision to opt out is completely understandable. Can we all agree on that? Like, if we got a piece of paper and did the old thing where you draw a line down the middle and you do pros and cons and you weigh the pros of opting out and the cons of opting out. All right, the benefits to Jamar Chase of not playing far outweigh anything he could accomplish on the field in 2020. Look, Jamar Chase has already won a national championship. If they don't win a national championship this year, they take a step back. He won the Biletnikoff Award. He set single-season SEC records for receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. Anything less than that is a step back. He is projected by everybody to be a top 5 pick. Let me remind you that Tua was the 5th overall pick in the most recent draft. Tua's rookie deal, $30 million with a signing bonus of $19.5 million. Jamar Chase will have $20 million coming his way as soon as that draft is done. Also, by opting out now, he can sign with an agent. He can get an advance on cash. He can sign endorsement deals. So many reasons why he avoids any possibility of being injured this season, the potential mishaps that may come via COVID, all of the reasons. It's very obvious why this is a very smart decision by Jamar Chase. The only thing he realistically could accomplish by coming back is to try to win another national championship or another Biletnikoff. And if that is the thing that's driving him, okay, come back. But other than that, this is the right decision for Jamar Chase. The thing that is curious, however, is the timing. If Jamar Chase had made this announcement 3 or 4 weeks ago, when it seemed like that was when that wave of players were coming, we saw Micah Parsons opt out. We saw some prominent players across college football decide, Bateman, the receiver from Minnesota, some guys that were projected first-round draft picks opting out. If Chase had joined the chorus then, I think we all could have understood it. The interesting part is that earlier this month, Jamar's dad, Jimmy Chase, came out and basically said, my son's playing. This was a report at 24/7 Sports. The headline was, star LSU wide receiver Jamar Chase plans to play 2020 season. And the quote attributed to his dad is, quote, he's going to play the season out. He's locked in with his team as long as everybody is healthy. He said he wants to play with his team and his teammates. So Jimmy Chase said on the record that he expected Jamar to play. And this was earlier this month. Something changed. Look, Jimmy Chase was off the bench, and he talked about Jamar wanting to come back, and that was sort of the expectation.
Oh, he's really fired up for that. I mean, like he's locked in, and that Biletnikoff Award just lit a fire on him, because he has to do more, and more is expected of him, and he's going to be under the spotlight. So he's just ready to accept the challenge and, take on whatever comes down the pipe.
So that was a month. That was Jamar's dad less than a month ago. That was August the 6th. So that's the interesting part, right? I mean, 3 weeks ago, the chorus was he's playing, he's opting in. That was headline news. And Now he's not. So something changed. Whatever that is, that changed. We'll wait and we'll get that answer when Jamar wants to disclose it. And until then, that's cool. But I'll say this, that if there's any fan who, like, you as a fan, you have every right to be disappointed. You have every right to be disappointed. This is maybe the most dynamic offensive player in college football this year. And you had him, and now you don't. So you were sort of tantalized. And he was at every practice, man. He was going through every single rep. He was here, and now he's not. And that part of it sucks. But I'll tell you this. Jamar Chase helped LSU put forth the greatest season in college football history. And for that, he needs to do nothing else to win and to earn your adulation, your respect as a fan. He had the greatest receiving season in the history of the South. Nearly 100 years of SEC football. Nobody in a season has caught more receiving yards or more receiving touchdowns in a year than Jamar Chase in 2019. He helped polish off a national championship. I remember, so in 2003 when LSU won the national championship, I was a senior at LSU. And I remember having this conversation because I've had this conversation with Justin Vincent as well. Without Justin Vincent breaking out the way he did, when he did, LSU probably doesn't win that national championship. He was that needed element there. And he was so incredible. I mean, MVP of the SEC championship, MVP of the national championship. He was just awesome, man. And I remember after LSU won that national championship, I had this conversation with my buddy leaving the championship game, and JV was the MVP. And I told my friend, I was like, if Justin Vincent never takes another carry for LSU, I will revere him forever for because it had been 45 years. No one ever thought LSU would win a national championship. This is the third since 2003 now, and they played for another, so it feels more right. But if you could put yourself back in that mindset, it always felt like this unreachable dream, man. And the reality is, you're grateful for the efforts that those guys gave when you had them. And I feel the same about Chase right now. It's like, and look, and JV went and played 4 years, won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, he did plenty after that. But the point is, even if he hadn't, it wouldn't have mattered, man. It's like you climbed this mountain. That's how Jamar Chase's time in Baton Rouge is going to be remembered, for what he did in the 2019 season. For when LSU's down 10-0 against Clemson, they throw the deep ball in the front right corner of the end zone, and Jamar Chase punks a guy who went on to be a first-round draft pick and puts LSU on the board. LSU in Tuscaloosa, first possession of the game, same route with Alabama's defender falling down, and Jamar Chase makes him look like a little kid, walks into the end zone, and at that moment, everybody knew this one ain't going to be like the last 8 years. Saddle up, because we're ready. He was awesome, man. And I'll always revere that. You'd love to see him in 2020, but realistically, you understand the decision that Jamar Chase had to make here. So what does LSU look like at the receiver position in 2020? That is a legit question. You have a no-doubt number one guy in Terrace Marshall. Everybody knows that. He was a former 5-star. Terrace Marshall a year ago had 13 touchdown receptions in 12 games. Remember, he missed 3 games through the foot injury. 13 touchdowns in 12 games. You have a legit number one. Racey McMath, 6'3", 200 pounds. He's going to be a great number 2. And then after that, you've got a 5-star in Kayshon Boutte. You got another elite player in Coy Moore coming in. You got returning guys like John Trey Kirkland and Trey Palmer and Jeray Jenkins. You're loaded with talent. It's just who's going to step into those roles now. And then the X factor, of course, is Arik Gilbert. Because Gilbert, we've talked about so much, the way Scott Linehan has described it is, when you put Gilbert on the field in a 3-receiver set, effectively the other team's 4th best cover guy ends up covering Gilbert. And that's a mismatch that LSU is going to win 99 times out of 100. So I still think LSU's offense has all the potential to be great. Not 5,000 yards and 60 touchdown passes, but can Brennan still throw for 3,500 yards and 30 touchdowns? If so, those would still be records pre-Joe Burrow. LSU records pre-Joe Burrow. And I still think those are realistic possibilities for Brennan this year, even without Jamar Chase, although you certainly would love to have a guy with that ability on your team. It's not going to happen, though. So you wish him well, you thank him for what he did, and LSU moves on. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.